Okay, so I know I missed the boat on Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. I didn't want to plague my channel with that movie, and I think enough time has passed to where I'm willing to finally talk about it. I'm not going to say anything positive about that movie. Don't expect me to. This isn't going to be a review. This is going to be a commentary, really, because I have had multiple deep complaints about that movie. And I keep getting met with this. It's a dinosaur movie. It's not supposed to be taken seriously. It's a fantasy movie about science fiction dinosaurs. Turn your brain off and have a good time. Turn your brain off and have a good time. That literally means this movie's stupid, so don't think about it. But that aside, I'm gonna ask you the question and try to provide an answer. Does it matter what the movie is about for the quality of the film to be different? For the things that we judge it for to have a different rule set, if you know what I mean. Take a film like The Matrix. The Matrix is about a guy who was supposed to fit some sort of prophecy to save this digital world that's plugged into it and has absolutely no idea that he is, but once he gains the self-awareness and assumes his role in the prophecy, he gains these like almost deity level powers. But the first movie is extraordinarily good. It's got great fight choreography. The story is very tightly knit. The narrative is concise. Even the second one is okay. The third one is just objectively bad, but it has nothing to do with the fact that it's about some sort of digital world. It's just a poorly done film. Avengers Infinity War is about a 13-foot tall purple alien guy on a quest to fill his magic glove with 6 space rocks so that he can kill half the universe and balance it out. Still a very good film despite having a lot of problems like pretty much every movie has. Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back, this teenager who just saved the galaxy by blowing up a huge space station has to travel to some jungle planet and learn the Force from a little green guy so that he can try to bring balance to the Force, but along the way he ends up having to fight his space father and he gets his hand cut off. Silly, but it's still one of the greatest movies ever made. And sure, I could go on, but I think you get the point by now that what the film is about has nothing to do with whether or not the movie should be taken seriously and graded the same way that we grade Citizen Kane or Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. Just because this movie is about dinosaurs doesn't mean that it's not required to make sense, especially if it's a continuation from the first movie, which made a whole lot of sense. The first Jurassic Park movie asks the question of, has humanity gotten to a point where we feel like we need to start messing with the natural order of life in order to create entertainment for ourselves? And with that, you have this capitalism angle of we can charge whatever we want and people will still come out anyway. But then you have Dr. Ian Malcolm, who is our surrogate, basically. He's like, it's great that you can do this, but why would you? You should not have done this. And that becomes glaringly obvious later on in the film when the dinosaurs rise up and start killing the people, just eating them. Because that's what dinosaurs do. It was a neat idea that should have stayed a joke that somebody made in the smoke session. It should have never been a real park, but they built it and they had to suffer the consequences. It's dumb this time, I guess. Even though, for some reason, this movie gives you the lesson and the idea, the purpose of itself so justifiably, and it does it in such a concise manner, they decided to continue the story and make 4 more movies, but each one of these 4 movies proposes the exact same thing. And despite Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom having super huge plot holes like the whole pyroclastic flow thing and the spiky boy and all those other things that I'm not going to get into right now, but I will eventually, we, for some reason, have never taken notice of the fact that this is the same plot that we've already seen over and over again in the past. The only difference is, when it comes to judging a movie, the subject matter should never come into account. The things that we're supposed to judge are the plot, performances, general direction, pacing, and beyond that, if it tries to do more, then we can judge those things. But when it comes to plot, pacing, performance, direction, even production design definitely goes into it, and that encompasses CGI and everything, especially since they use so much of that now. But all of that goes into account when you're judging a movie. What it's about shouldn't matter. Now, if it's an adaptation of something, then its loyalty, its truthfulness to the source material does come into account when you're judging this. But Jurassic Park is based on, so we still have to judge Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom on this same criteria. Production design doesn't exist because the entire thing is on a green screen with even CGI dinosaurs except for the really obvious animatronics, which look terrible by comparison because of how much CGI there is. The stiff, textbook, wooden, cardboard performances that are the same characters that they were in the last movie with absolutely no adaptation, no arc, no change from the last time that we saw them 3 years ago. The direction that was literally just, Bryce, Chris, get out there and do what you do best. Just have a good time. The plot, which is... I dropped something. The plot, which is the same regurgitated garbage that we've already seen before, it didn't start out as garbage, but it became garbage after the third or fourth time seeing that exact same plot. And the pacing, where it feels like there was a good 20 pages of script cut out because things just happened and they don't make any sense. They weren't set up at all. This movie fails on just about every level except for giving me something to make fun of. So props for that. Oh no, I just said something positive. But outside of that, this movie fails on every other level, and it's a waste of time. And if you haven't seen it, you'll just be angry at yourself for forcing yourself to watch it. The point is, the movie's bad, and it's because it's just bad. It has nothing to do with the fact that it's about dinosaurs. That's a stupid argument. If that's an argument that you make, no. Bad. Terrible. Your argument is invalid. But that's all I have to say about that. If you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, well, I've got about 75 videos, so have a day of just watching my content, man.